Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are leading a team in the hospitality sector right now, you really need to consider this a critical, high-stakes briefing. We're going to dive deep into the data and the actual strategies you need to survive and, honestly, to thrive in the current industry storm. We are breaking down exactly how artificial intelligence is shifting from this futuristic novelty into absolute essential infrastructure for management success. But first, we need to confront the reality of today's market. Okay, let's dive right into this. The industry is frankly caught in a perfect storm. We are facing unprecedented macro pressures that are just crushing margins. Global food and energy inflation are back, creating a really severe cost crunch. And then you add in new regulatory burdens like Martin's Law, alongside tube strikes and high business rates. So it's absolutely no wonder that over 100,000 operators have backed a petition for a 10% hospitality VAT just to try and stay afloat. Major players are literally being forced to increase prices just to keep the lights on. And that brings us to a pretty alarming economic reality. Insolvencies are jumping. But here's the real kicker. It is not just the empty venues closing their doors. Even high-demand, packed-to-the-rafters pubs are reporting losses. They're operating at absolute maximum volume, but they are straining under infrastructure pressures, incredibly high costs for temporary power, and rampant theft. The traditional model is breaking down. Immediate, strategic action is no longer a luxury. It's a sheer necessity for survival. So, let's address the elephant in the room here. Whenever we talk about strategic action and modernizing operations, the conversation inevitably turns to artificial intelligence. But there is a very genuine, understandable fear among management. The big question is, will AI destroy the human touch? As hospitality professionals, our entire industry is built on emotional connection, right? It's the defining characteristic of what we do. So there is this deep-seated, incredibly valid hesitation about just handing over the reins to technology. But here's where that fear really clashes with the hard data. The fear is that robotic service is going to break the luxury illusion, that sticking digital screens everywhere ruins that effortless, premium perfection. But the reality being reported by the data is completely different. Industry research actually shows that human leadership remains far superior for guest engagement. The goal of AI isn't to replace the human. Think about it. Instead of your team playing a high-stakes game of memory with complex orders during a massive rush, they are freed up to actually look guests in the eye and build a genuine human connection. To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at the philosophy driving the most successful integrations right now. Take Vedran, the founder of the hospitality AI company InSeed. With his background in luxury cruise ships, he anchors his technology in a very specific, powerful formula. ROI equals direct financial impact multiplied by the emotional impact on the guest. True return on investment requires technology to enhance human service, not replace it. As Vedran puts it, it's not what we do for guests. It's how we make them feel. If the tech doesn't elevate that feeling, well, it's failing. Now, what's really interesting is seeing how this philosophy translates to the actual interface the guest uses. This doesn't feel like some cheap transactional self-checkout kiosk. It's elegant, it greets the guest by name, introduces the virtual or human waiter, and immediately sets this tone of personalized, high-quality service. Plus, it supports multiple languages instantly, creating a welcoming environment for international guests without putting a massive translation burden on your floor staff. And this brilliantly illustrates how AI drives revenue while keeping that premium feel intact. Beyond just high-quality menu categories, the AI truly shines in features like the sommelier suggests. Drawing on expert food and wine pairings, the system intelligently recommends the perfect wine to go with the guest's specific order. It automatically increases the average check value through smart, context-aware cross-selling, but it does it in a way that feels like expert guidance rather than some annoying robotic upsell. But, behind that beautiful interface, there's some serious operational heavy lifting going on. We're talking immediate allergen transparency, which, let's be honest, is a massive sigh of relief for your kitchen, multi-language support, and seamlessly integrated loyalty rewards. By putting these tools directly into the guest's hands, you drastically reduce the sheer chaos of a slammed Saturday night service. It ensures a perfectly consistent guest experience, no matter how overwhelmed the floor might actually be. So, the crucial point for management is always the measurable outcome. Does it actually work? Well, the data reveals a proven 12% lift in revenue per available room, or RevPAR. When venues utilize unified guest journey platforms, systems like Hoteza that connect check-in, upselling, and in-room entertainment, they completely streamline the ordering process. Using AI messaging to interact with guests actively converts basic interactions into hard, measurable financial growth. Now, I want to burn this second number into your memory: 30%. That is a massive boost in ancillary revenue driven directly by these AI messaging and upselling systems. When you automate the suggestion of an extra side dish, or a premium drink upgrade, or maybe a spa treatment, and you present it at the exact right moment in the guest's digital journey, the uptick is simply staggering. This is revenue that is consistently left on the table when busy human staff just don't have the time to ask every single guest for an upsell. Zooming out to the macro level for a second, the absolute biggest players are entirely restructuring around this tech. IHG Hotels and Resorts has rolled out ChatGPT-powered booking to completely streamline how consumers make their reservations. Meanwhile, on the back end, companies like Actable are hiring dedicated senior vice presidents to lead AI-driven asset and operational strategies. They are using performance analytics dashboards to visualize data across multi-billion-dollar portfolios. This is exactly how the heavyweights prepare for massive demand surges, like the upcoming FIFA World Cup. And bringing it back down to the venue level, these digital touchpoints also unlock a totally vital operational function: real-time data collection. By seamlessly integrating feedback right at the point of service, management captures immediate insights. Today's consumers pay a premium for flawless offerings in what we call the experience economy. So having real-time data on your food quality, your service, and your ambiance is absolutely critical. It allows you to course correct before a bad review ever even hits the internet. Finally, the technology just handles the closeout so gracefully. Integrated point-of-sale systems seamlessly sync the entire journey, from the phone straight to the kitchen display, right down to calculating and capturing the tip. Efficiency is placed right at the very heart of the hospitality flow. This removes all the friction for the guest while simultaneously guaranteeing accuracy for your accounting team and, of course, your staff. All of this brings us to a pretty stark reality, summarized perfectly in our sources. If you're still thinking about adopting AI, it's probably already too late. I really want that to sink in. Adopting these unified digital platforms and AI-driven systems is no longer optional for management. It's not just a shiny new toy. It is fundamental infrastructure. Operators who wait face a massive competitive disadvantage against those who are already out there, cutting costs, boosting average checks, and freeing up their staff. The horizon of hospitality is already here, and it actively demands action. You know the crushing pressures your margins are under right now, and we've seen how combining emotional, human-centered service with practical AI solutions drives actual ROI. Please don't let the fear of change paralyze your operations. So the question isn't whether you can afford to integrate AI, it's whether you can afford not to.